Welcome back to the Legendary Barbershop Podcast. Today, I got somebody that one of the biggest inspirations to me, big inspiration to a lot of people. The GOAT, the legend, the guy that started it all when it comes down to barbering in Southwest Detroit. The very first person to come here and start doing fades, lineups. Before that, we were getting our flat tops from Sergeant Russ, and that was all good. But when he first came around, the first guy to bring lineups and barber to the barbershop, Jimmy Faukory. Thank you so much.
Thank
good
you,
sir, man, for coming.
brother. I appreciate you. I'm
it means a lot.
humbled and honored to be here, and blessed Sunday to you. And thank you for having me on your podcast. It means a lot to me as well.
It's long overdue. Like when I first started doing podcasts, you were one of the first people on the list. I said, one day I'm going to get Jimmy if he'd come,
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy that you accepted my invitation because this is something that needs to be heard. You were the very first person to come to Southwest Detroit and do a lineup. I remember the first time you lined up my forehead. It was like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, this is not real. Like you discovered fire, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, how come people weren't doing this shit before? And then I started seeing you do beards. Tell us a little bit, what was your inspiration when it came down to that, like that kind of style? Because, we were getting haircuts at Jerry's, stuff like that, and just regular haircuts. But, in Southwest Detroit, we weren't getting those sharp, lines and beards and mustache and stuff like that until you came around. So who inspired you to go in that direction, that style of cutting? And, how did you get down to Southwest Detroit?
So I think for me, I had a little bit of an advantage in regards to having that different style and different approach to barbering, because having my Middle Eastern background and being from Southwest Detroit, I kind of had the best of both worlds.
Yes, sir.
So growing up in Southwest Detroit, the culture, the people, it was what I knew. And then going into middle school, we moved out to Dearborn, but I was still coming back down to the neighborhood because that's where my roots were. That's where my mom and dad's store was on Cahalan. So I still had that. I still had that communication, and I still was coming down to the neighborhood every day. So when I started barber school in high school, I took it as a vocational class, and barbering for me, I think, came kind of natural. And I just kind of fell into it, and I fell in love with it. And about 6 months into my barber school, I was being approached by salons in Dearborn. And a lot of the salons, they're very good. Their styles are different. So even though we're only one city apart, the styles are totally different. It's like two different worlds. So I was able to kind of incorporate those two things. So I was working in the salon, so I was learning their techniques, and then school, and then I had our ways and our different styles in Southwest Detroit. So Southwest Detroit stands out everywhere and anywhere you go. So
such a beautiful story when it comes to, where you came from and what you did. And like I tell everybody, if it wasn't for you, I know for a fact I wouldn't have done this, because I seen you. I'm a kid. I'm like, this guy, man, everybody knows who Jimmy is, man. Everybody loves Jimmy. This guy's a real hood celebrity, And anybody, if you were somebody, you got your haircut with Jimmy. You know some shit that nobody probably knows about some people that, are up there. You cut some people's hair, I remember, that were like the man, hood celebrities, might be in the aspect I'm talking about might not be positive, but, you were killing. I seen you, man. You had a Rolex. I'm a kid. Damn, I gotta get on that level. I gotta do that. But I heard you a minute ago say that you lived in Southwest Detroit. Now, I never knew that. What street did you live on? I know your parents had a store there. It was on Green, I thought. Cahalan?
Yeah, that was my uncle's store on Green.
Okay.
But my parents had a store in Cahalan, like 5 blocks away from my old house. I lived on Cahalan Mullane.
Okay. Did you go to school there?
I did. I went to Higgins, Harms. I went to Bennett. I went to Boynton. Yeah.
This whole time, I always thought you lived in Dearborn, because I know you lived there after, right? In Dearborn?
After, right, yeah.
Oh, shit. So I'm learning some stuff about Jimmy today that I didn't even know. So you went to Harms, what grade?
I went to Harms for, I think it was kindergarten.
Okay.
Yep. And my aunt was my teacher, believe it or not.
You're Jordanian, am I right?
Jordanian, yep.
Okay. And Francis Battaglia,
Francis.
his mother, rest in peace. She was a teacher at Harms. Was she your teacher?
No, it was my another aunt. So Francis is a distant cousin of mine.
Shout out to Francis. That's my
Yes,
best friend from
sir.
high school.
Yep, I know. I
You know.
remember.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's a wonderful guy,
Oh
Francis.
God,
Yeah.
amazing person.
Yep, he is. But yeah, so just having like the different aspects of culture and um and just being around the different environments kind of helped me develop my own style,
Yes, sir.
you know, and kind of bring it to the table. And I think that's what helped me to stand out as well. So,
Yeah, the reason that I know you're Jordanian is because of Francis is Jordanian. My
Mhm.
wife earlier, she goes, "Is he Christian?" I said, "Yeah, he is." I said, "You know what?" She's asked me what you were, and I was like, "He's Jordanian," because I remember.
no.
And yeah, man, Harms School. My sister went to Harms, but I went to St. Stephen's on Central, and you know, I went to Wilson for seventh grade,
Mhm.
and then I went to Clifford Academy. Also during the seventh grade, my mom put me in two different schools, and I went right back to St. Stephen's for the eighth because I was getting in so much trouble. But you know, I had people on my mom's porch cutting their hair when I was like probably like ninth, 10th grade, you know. And everybody, there's a lot of people. I'd be like, "Hey man, let me cut your hair." But like, "Nah, I mess with Jimmy." You know, nobody would go because I wasn't on that level yet. But so tell me, like you said, you know, you got a lot of influence from both worlds.
I did.
Tell me how you like got influenced. What made you like get into doing those sharp beards and stuff like that? Because I didn't never see anything like that before until you did it. You said that you know you were down in Dearborn
Mhm.
and you were working at one of those salons there, and those guys, you know, they're serious about their beards. Is there a particular barber
For sure.
that helped you out, or inspired you the most to do that?
Definitely. So even when I was in barber college, like I said, I had the opportunity and blessing to be invited and to work in one of the bigger shops in Dearborn. There were two that came to my school and that were trying to recruit me to work there while I was in barber college. So I had the opportunity to apprentice under two brothers at Salon Treasury on Warren, which is Raif and Raji. One was a barber, like I mean, strictly barber. He was phenomenal too, and his brother Raji was a hairstylist, and these guys were sharp. Man, they gave me so much motivation and so much inspiration. And for them to take me under their wing and to show me, you know, their techniques and their styles that they've developed over 20 or 30 some odd years was a blessing. And I'm glad I knew it at the time and I took advantage of that. So it was very humbling to be able to learn all of that under one roof at one time,
Hell yeah.
you know. So
Yep.
it opened a lot of doors for me.
Now that I think about it, right now, I'm remembering seeing you do the thread.
Yes, I learned
I
that there
haven't
as
seen
well.
anybody do that to this day besides you.
Mhm.
Is that where you learned it from? Those guys? Because I know
I
the
did.
Arabic dudes get down.
Yep, I did. Well, it's
still do
become
it?
very. Yeah, I do sometimes.
I've never seen anybody else do that, man. So how
It's
often do you
become
do
pretty
it?
popular now. Like if you go to the malls, there's
Yeah.
actually places now that do specifically threading.
Okay.
So it's become pretty popular, and wherever you go, you can go to Florida, you know, different places. There's a lot of Indian people that do it, a lot of Middle Eastern people that do it.
Okay.
So
When's the last time you did it? Is it something you do often, or is it special occasion?
no, honestly, not anymore. Yeah, special occasions. Sometimes, like if I get some guys to come in and they want me to do like a wedding party, I'll do it.
Eyebrows too.
Yeah.
I seen you do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So what year did you graduate in barber college? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we went to the same school. Shout out to Detroit Barber College.
Shout out to Detroit Barber College, Mr. Gursky. That guy's a legend, man. And that
that dude.
school, yeah, that school I can honestly say is what's it called? They're very like what's the word I'm looking for? They focus on really teaching you all of your foundation for barbering.
go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So at barber school, you learn just the general stuff, like whether it's hair cutting or your book work.
Mhm.
But they really took teaching their students serious.
Yeah, back
So,
then, I'll tell you what. When I got to barber college, I graduated in 2002. You were probably like what 96,
96, yeah.
bingo. And
Good
I got there. I
a
thought I
good
was the shit because I
yes.
used to hang out in your shop at Perfect Image. We're gonna
Mhm.
talk about that later. Um, and I thought I was the shit because I'm on my mom's porch, and back then it looked good. And then I got to barber college and realized I don't know shit. No, I don't know nothing because I didn't know how to use shears,
Mhm.
straight razor and stuff like that. And Miss Elaine, she was the teacher at the time. I don't know if she was a teacher when you were there.
No. Mm-mm.
But yeah, she would, she taught me a lot of stuff. You can't hold the clipper like that, and I'm holding the scissors wrong. The shears wrong. See, I'm calling them scissors. She would say
Mhm.
something about that. They're shears. And there was like in barber college, I guess I was probably the best one. Me and one other guy named AJ. And when I got out of barber college, I thought the world wasn't ready for me. Man, I got up in the barber shop and realized I don't know shit once again. So we're always learning. When you got out of barber college, right? What was the first place? Was it the first place you worked at? The place in Warren?
Yeah, so I was already working there while I was in barber college,
Mm-hmm.
and I continued to work there just shortly after because when I got my barber license, they promised me a chair, and I felt I was ready to go on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think they quite felt I was ready. So I went down to the neighborhood. Actually, that's when I went down to Dino's old shop and was working there.
So did you work with Dino?
No, I didn't. I used to get my hair cut there as a kid though with Dino, and he
Mm-hmm.
used to clip my ear all the time.
I don't think he liked kids, man. Cause that boy would be like, I'm like, with that brush. And I'm thinking, is that necessary? But we had to go through it. So tell me more about like how you ended up in that particular building, and did you know Dino personally?
I did know
Because I
Dino
know he died.
personally. Yeah, he did. Shortly after I
Mm-hmm.
started working there, Dino owned actually a few shops up and down Verner.
Inglis and Werner
Yep, Inglis and
and
Verner.
Navy and Springwells
Yeah, and
that I
then he
know.
owned the one next to Comerica Bank.
Really?
Yeah, there was one next to Comerica
On
Bank.
Springwells and Werner?
Yes. Yep.
No shit, I didn't know
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
I don't know if this is true, but I always heard that he died. You're looking at me a certain way. I don't want to say if it's not true, but he died from AIDS. Did you hear this
No,
before? I heard it
no.
from multiple people. I don't want to put that out there.
Right.
And I heard he had like, a bunch of girls all the time and stuff like that.
Well,
Rest in peace, Dino. He was the
rest
man.
in
He was
peace,
cool.
Dino.
I don't want to
Yes,
put
for
him out there,
sure.
but I always heard if I didn't hear that rumor like multiple times, I wouldn't have brought it up right now. Have you ever heard anything like that?
I know Dino. He was, even though he was a little older, he used to like to
You just
have a
like the
good time
women.
for sure.
Yeah,
But then again, what barber doesn't?
of
What
course.
what
I'm not
man
judging
doesn't?
for
So.
sure. We're far from saints.
Hmm.
So he died years and years ago. So when you first opened up the shop, what year was it?
So actually, I started working there in '96, and some friends of mine, their brother had bought it. Him and his wife, Adrian and Geraldine, and I was fortunate enough to start working for them. And at the time that I started working for them, they made me a manager. They seen my potential and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when Patty came on board. So
Veronica.
Veronica had left already.
Mm-hmm.
She used to work with Dino. She worked with Dino for years. She's wonderful too. I visited her a couple years back. She had a shop on Tireman and Warren.
Okay.
Veronica, she was awesome.
She's always been a sweetheart.
Yes, she's
Always
a
been
wonderful.
nice to me.
Yep, she's
Shout out
wonderful.
to Veronica.
Shout out
Yep.
to Veronica for sure. But yeah. So I started working there, and they made me a manager just shortly after I started working there because they liked that I was always dressed well. I conducted myself well.
You did.
So thank you. And they seen the ambition that I had, and that really encouraged me. And that's when Patty came on board. She started working with me,
Mm-hmm.
and shortly after, a few of my original crew started trickling in, and that's when my team kind of was born.
Okay.
Prior to me even opening a shop.
Okay.
So I ended up buying the shop in '99, and we maintained excuse me, we maintained that same team for a number of years. 12, 13
Yeah, you
years.
guys were strong for a
Yeah.
long time.
So I was blessed to work with those girls, and it was,
Yeah.
it was the foundation for my career.
Yeah, the hood never seen anything like it, not even close. And I'll never forget walking up in there, and it's just you didn't do appointments,
Nope.
so
At the
you would
time, it was
be.
all walk-ins.
So how many haircuts would you do a day back then? Because I remember you were walk-ins only, and the wait would be hours and hours.
Hours and hours.
Just like I was here, before I started doing appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Were you? How long did it take you to get that message out there to everybody? Like, this guy's the shit. Come and see him. Did you start bumping right away, or did it take you, a couple months or a year?
When I started working there, like I said, I started working for Geraldine and Adrian, and it didn't take long for me to get busy because even from Barber College, I had a following. Till this day, I have some of the same people from when I was in Barber College. I'm like literally doing third generations of families now.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't take long. And like I said, I felt barbering kind of came natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt like at home, being in the barbershop and being of service. It made me feel good.
For sure. Yeah, so you said like 1999 you guys bought the building.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it all started. And how many years were Perfect Image one? How many years were you guys kicking it?
So from 96 to about 2007, 2008.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a nice run right there. Question that I had for you, and it's something I always wanted to ask you throughout the years, and I always forget to bring it up. All right. Of course, you're in Southwest Detroit. You're in the hood, and anybody who is anybody got their haircut with you. But there was you're not making an appointment. You go in there, and you wait. And you're whoever's in front of you, you guys wait for them to be done and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a big fight in there? Because I remember, back in the day, walking up in there. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? How many you got? I look over, be like, oh shit, man, this guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna see if you got problems in the neighborhood, you're going to see him in
Shows
the
up at the
barbershop.
barbershop,
If it's a walk-in barbershop. And that day, man, I remember saying, all right, Jimmy, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
You told me you'll hold my spot. And I was like, I got to go back up in here. I don't want to fight in Jimmy's place. Dude never say anything, thank God, But I know there's a lot of other people that used to walk up in the barbershop and see some real beef shit.
Yeah.
And I know little Mickey Mouse shit that I had going on with that dude, like some real serious shit. What's the craziest story you have when it comes down to, that?
So that's definitely a valid question. And, knock on wood, thank God, 30 years later in my career, I've always been blessed and fortunate enough to have been respected enough and have tried to maintain a level of respect in the shop to where that has never happened. I mean, there's been incidents happen. I've had it to where there's been guys pull guns on each other, but thankfully they go outside or we squash it. We figure it out.
Yeah.
And, at the time I worked with all women, so I had to maintain a certain level of respect in my shop. And I've been grateful enough to have people from all walks of life. I mean, we had doctors coming from Henry Ford Hospital. I used to cut father from Holy Redeemer, gangsters, murderers, like
a little bit.
We
of
had
everybody.
people coming from Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield. So people from all walks of life were able to come in to the barbershop and keep that sense of community and keep that respect, and
that's amazing.
So it's definitely been a blessing. So barbershop for me is like, that was the culture, to be able to come in one place and to talk to someone you wouldn't normally talk to,
Yeah. See, that's definitely not
So
the
it's
answer I
big.
thought I was going to get. Because I always thought, like, all those years, man, you got everybody coming up in there, different gangs.
Yeah.
You got Counts and Cash Flows and folks all coming in there. You're going to go walk up in there and you're going to see somebody you got beef with.
There's definitely
and
been
you've
some
never
heated
had
moments.
a knockdown, drag out fight or no kind of
thank
shooting or
God.
nothing ever. That is, that's a
Thank
blessing.
God,
Thank
yeah.
God. Because I thought for sure that you would give me something.
Oh, it's been to that point, but for it to actually happen, no.
That's
Never, thank
beautiful,
God. Yeah.
man. Hey, that's good because
And I've had leaders of gangs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people that you had, they always were respectful because, of course, we respect you. But you had some like people that I knew that got their haircut with you that ain't no joke.
Yeah.
You know, they don't fuck around. And I know some people that seen some people in there. You know, I heard a few stories. I never heard of anything like, you know, physical happening fight wise. That's why I asked you today. But yeah, there's some people that ain't no joke to come up in there. So
yeah,
that's see, they respect you that much. If it was anybody else, man, there'd have been some shootings up in there, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I've heard and seen about it at other shops, and again, you know, that's where like I really feel truly blessed, and I kind of feel that I know I found my place in barbering. Like I feel home, you know, when I'm in the shop, and when I'm able to be of service.
Yeah,
you know, so.
So I remember back in the day, and I'm pretty sure you still got it going on today, because like I said, you didn't skip a beat. You're still killing it. Celebrities. I know celebrities who come in town, and then I'll see that they like stop. Somebody told them like, I got someone for you. You need a haircut. You still got some people stopping by the shop, and you know, tell me about some of the people from the past. I know Macho Camacho.
Yeah,
I believe
Macho
you cut
Camacho,
his hair.
Prince Nassim.
Prince Nassim Ahmed. Yep, that's the one I was trying to think about. Yep.
You know what? I actually I don't really touch on this too much, but yeah, I've cut quite a few celebrities. Whether it was from my old shop when I lived in Vegas, at my shop now, I've cut quite a few celebrities, and I don't put it out there, but I do. I have pictures. I've been flown around. So just a brief list I can give you. Like one of the first and most famous celebrities I cut was Prince Nassim Hamed. I had the blessing and opportunity to cut him multiple times. He's flown me around to the training camp at Poconos, Pennsylvania. He flew me to Disney World after he won his fight in Detroit. So on numerous occasions, I cut him and his family. So who else? Macho Camacho.
Yep, I remember that.
I cut.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yep. Yeah, he was great, man. I cut John Jackson from the Chargers at my old shop.
Okay.
I've cut Stevie B when I was in Vegas.
He's still kicking it too, man. I
Yeah,
seen he was
he's
on
still
tour.
singing. His son sings with him as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So when I was in Vegas, I cut Stevie B. I cut Sean Kingston. I cut Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder. I cut Reggie Bush. Who else did I cut? Oh, CeeLo from the group Next.
Yep.
And then I also I used to cut them on a regular basis, like every couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to cut them every couple weeks. Jay Cutler was just in town about a year ago at Raise the Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, and he sent a signed picture to me because my nephew trains there, and he was talking to him. He was like, hey, my uncle used to cut your hair in Vegas, and he remembered me, and he sent me a picture, so that was really cool.
Okay. Prince Nassim, how was he? You know, I know he was training out of Kronk, and he was being trained by Emmanuel Stewart. How was he personality-wise? Because here's the thing. You know, I'm a big boxing fan. I hated him back in the day because of his cockiness. But now I love watching him like on his like on YouTube. I watched that clips. Dude. He was amazing. I love watching Prince Nassim.
Yeah.
Man. And he said he was a man of his word. He said, if I ever lose, I'm gonna retire. Barrera beat him and he retired. But I read in the Ring magazine later on that it wasn't the reason he retired. They said after you take off his gloves in the locker room, his hands would be like balloons. They were big. But how was he in real life? You know, was he humble? Was he cool? Was he kind of cocky? Was he so loud, obnoxious, or what was he?
No, you know what? Believe it or not, man, mostly all of that was showmanship. You know,
the heart of a lion.
He did have a heart of a lion. I mean, I used to watch this guy train, and the things he would do were almost like not human.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen him go from laying on his back from a sit-up position to standing all the way up.
I used to see him do that.
You know, and his discipline for training was like impeccable. I mean, I would get up early in the morning and when they flew me out to Poconos, and I would go like kayaking in the morning, and he'd be in the gym already. It'd be 7 in the morning.
Bro, that's one of my favorite fighters of all time. That's one fighter that's a one and done. There will never be another Prince Nassim Ahmed.
No, he was very unorthodox, his style of fighting, but his showmanship, man, I think it was cool because for me, I got the chance to meet him and talk to him and really see him on different levels. And he was actually very humble.
Was he?
Very humble, yeah. He
that
was
boy
a
done gained some
God-fearing
weight
man.
now.
Yeah, he got big.
Hey, you know those boxers, man. Their whole life, they have to watch what they eat. When they retire, they're like, fuck, man, I'm going to eat some cheeseburgers, you know, and they go crazy. But I seen him not long ago. That boy gained some weight. He's
big.
chunky.
Well, his son is fighting now, so his son
Really?
is training to be the next champ. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Where are they? They went back to England.
Yeah, that's where they're originally from. They're from Yemen originally, but
Yeah.
they grew up in England.
Yeah, boy, it wasn't no joke. And I remember seeing that you cut Macho Camacho,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he was hanging around, Dearborn and stuff for a couple of years. How was he?
Yeah,
I
Macho.
met him. Matter of fact, because my uncle took me to go meet him,
Uh-huh.
and one day I hate to cut you off.
No,
but,
no, go ahead.
my uncle goes, I got someone that you're gonna meet. Like, who is it? Like, you just wait till we get there.
Mm.
But Armando's, and I'm Mexican,
Yeah.
so he's a Puerto Rican fighter, the rivalry or whatever.
Mhm.
So he was like, "You ready? Come in." Walk in, and it's Macho Camacho. I go, "Oh man," he goes, "Shut the fuck." I was like, "Nah, I'm just, I don't like him as a boxer, right? Because of De La Hoya,
Right.
Well, and Chavez. Well, we were up in there, and something had happened. We were like, I'm not saying no names, but there's like 10, 15 people. And something happened where they got a phone call where they had beef. So everybody had to leave, and he's like going to go too. Like, no, man, you got too much to lose.
Right.
He said, hey, take my nephew home. So he took me home in his Jaguar. He had a red Jaguar, and I'm bouncing around Verner with Macho Camacho.
That's
And
sweet.
he dropped me off at my house on Norman. I'll never forget that.
Mhm.
He was cool, man. He was real cool.
He was, man. His personality was like electric.
Wow,
Bro.
dog.
Yeah, he was wild.
That boy would get up on the table. We're in Armando's. He jump up on the table. He's like, hey, everybody. There's this guy. He's eating with this lady. I'll never forget. He's eating with his lady, and Macho pulls up a chair
Mhm.
and just goes in between them and puts his hand on it like this. He's like, I'm thinking, what if he didn't know who you were?
Right.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But he was that kind of guy, bro. He was real cool. He was real humble.
Yeah.
But he was
really cool.
He was like very energetic.
On 10 at all times.
On 10 at all times.
Yep,
Yeah.
because I'm like, this boy just
We hung out. We hung out and stuff.
He stood up on the table in Armando's and was like, all right, everybody. I was like, oh, shit, this guy ain't no joke, man.
Yeah,
He
he's
didn't eat
wild.
nothing. He was just wild, man. But that's something I always tell the story, My
Yeah,
uncle
that's
took me
pretty
to
cool.
see a few celebrities, that people won't believe that I hung out with. Just, not like meet and greet, like, just a few people in there with the people. But, yeah, you cut Macho Camacho. What other boxers did you cut besides them?
So
I know you had some pictures with some other boxers.
Eric
I'm just trying to-
Terrible Morales.
Who's
Eric
that?
Morales.
Oh, you cut Eric Morales.
Yeah. Well, I was ringside for Nassim's fight down there, and those guys were all down there, and I got to meet him as well. And there was a boxer I used to sponsor for Emmanuel. My friend Angel introduced me to him because Angel used to train some of the fighters as well.
Eric DeLeon?
No.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Shout out to Eric. I'm going to get him on here too.
Shout out. Eric.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember his name. But this kid had a promising career, man. Emmanuel Stewart had him under his wing, training him. He was doing great. I sponsored a couple of his fights. And before he had the opportunity to sign professional with Emmanuel, before his 18th birthday, he had gotten into some trouble. He was caught up in some gang stuff, and unfortunately that kind of threw away his career. But
Are you talking about one of the twins?
No, he wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
God, I can't think of his name, but he's from the neighborhood. He's a Puerto Rican kid.
Still boxing?
I don't know. I haven't seen or talked to him in years.
It's been a while, yeah. So
but
through barbering has opened up so many doors
It
for
has.
you and me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, I seen like stuff like that, man. I see you hang with the celebrities, man, and you're going to fights and you're ringside, and it's just from a pair of clippers.
Yeah.
You showed me and other people the power that you could have with just a pair of clippers.
It's true.
Because the whole thing, like, oh, he's just a barber thing, you put that shit to rest. It ain't just a barber, man. This is a profession that you could be financially free, man, and not just financially, socially,
yes, absolutely,
and everything else. And a lot of people look down at it. They always have, just like it's just cutting hair, but the connections that you've made and the way that you move throughout the years is impeccable.
Thank you. I appreciate
people
that.
look at that, and that's just a great example of what you can do. But it's not as easy as what people think it is.
No.
They see barbers, especially on Instagram nowadays. You see barbers, man. These guys driving around in all these nice cars and going on vacations, but people ain't talking about. Barbers ain't talking about the pain in our backs,
what really goes on
and
behind a
stuff
chair.
like that, and the frustration, and it's hell sometimes. If you know, it's crazy.
But
It's
yeah,
not all peaches and cream. Tell me, a little bit about what the kind of toll it took on you, or takes on you, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I like the fact that you brought that up, that the power that a person can have or experience through building relationships from being behind a pair of clippers or being behind a chair. It's true. You build relationships, you meet a lot of really cool people, and the barbershop is an important place, and people have known that for years. It's where, boys become men, it's where things get talked about that normally don't get talked about in your everyday situations, especially with us men. A lot of men, we don't have that opportunity to talk about feelings, emotions, or just having a bad day, just in general. So the barbershop is a very trusted place.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people don't realize it's not just a haircut. It's a sense of therapy. It's a sense of a sense of community. You're meeting new people, different people, and it's important. And nowadays barbering has changed a lot because of social media. Everybody's on the go. Nobody has patience anymore. So before, like you said, people would come and sit and wait for hours for a haircut. But guess what? You were having fun.
Yep.
You were talking to other people, meeting new people, watching your barber work, and people didn't mind. Now, people will make an appointment or even walk in and expect to get in a chair right away.
Yeah.
And it does. It creates a lot of pressure and frustration. And it doesn't allow us as barbers to work the way we need to work to do the best job that we want to give the client.
Sure. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was walking only. You were walking before doing appointments.
Yep.
And it was a couple months ago. I talk a lot, man. You know what I mean? Everybody knows I talk, and it is what it is. Somebody was like, "Hey, Jay, man, it's 3:05. I was supposed to be at 3 o'clock."
Right.
And then that's a new guy. He doesn't know how things used to be. And one of my old school guys were here. It was like, fuck's he talking about? He goes, "Bro, we used to sit in here for 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours waiting for Jay. You're lucky that you're getting in when you're getting in." You know what I mean? I don't miss walk-ins. Sometimes I do. I think that all barbers should start off doing walk-ins, because these guys want to pick up a pair of clippers and start off at the top.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you just said, man. Is definitely for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up too. Because we're not machines, we're humans. And even though we book appointments, so it's just a general time. So every haircut is not going to take you exactly 20 minutes. Some person could come in with 6 months worth of hair, so every haircut is not going to be on time or on schedule. And if you want that person's service, you have to wait, because there's a lot more that goes into it. Now, when you go into a doctor's office, you have a 9 o'clock, you might not get in until 9:30, 9:20. It's not about we're not respecting other people's time. No, it's the opposite. We're respecting your time even more.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the chair, we want to give you the best service we can.
That's a bar right there.
So what it is you'll have guys that walk in and they're frustrated. They don't want to wait. Once they get in the chair though, oh, forget it. They don't care who's behind them.
Yep.
They want to talk. They'll move while you're cutting their hair.
Yep.
So they forgot about the time now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like something I don't want to get too into, because it's a sensitive subject. But
yeah, no, fuck those guys, man. Trust me, because I've had anything you could think of. People ask me, "Has this ever happened before?" I said, "Listen, you can't come up with one thing that
has not happened. Correct.
Twice.
Yep,
anything you could think of when it comes down to barbering and clients, and it's happened to me. But yeah, you're right. People, those guys will be,
especially
come on, man, hurry up. And then once you get in the chair, they're going to fucking keep you in there for 2 hours.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care about the next person.
Especially when it comes to barbers like yourself and I. I respect you a lot as a barber. And as a person. You have came up and you have grown. You've had your own journey, which, we can talk about whenever you're ready. But you do a good job, or a great job, rather. Like myself, we both do a great job on each and every person. It doesn't matter who's in our chair. I know that because I hear it, I see it, I talk to you, you know, and so it's not like we'll do a good job on one person and rush the next person out. No.
Yep. I don't have it in me because somebody told me years ago, like maybe there's somebody that I really didn't care for too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, fuck his hair up. I said, man,
I can't
I
do
have
it.
tried.
It's not in me.
I have tried to like do that. I do not have it in me because a haircut doesn't have any personality.
That's right.
You know, haircut.
It's our work.
I don't even know who the haircut doesn't have a personality, man. And if I fuck up your hair, everyone's gonna see it.
It's a reflection
Who did that?
of your work.
Jay
That's
did
right.
that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have it in me to do that. I take everybody seriously, man, and everybody gets 100%.
Absolutely.
And that's why we are who we
Respect,
are,
yep.
and we're doing what we're doing still.
That's
because
right.
you know, I've been doing this since I was a little kid, and I still put 100% into everything I got.
That's right.
Even if I'm gonna be behind, you know what I mean. If it's gonna put me behind, I have to, you know, and that's, you know, comes along with the game. A lot of people want to get you in and out. I can't do that, man, because it's a walking billboard. Everybody sees your work.
That's right.
You know, they see you on the street. They ask who cut your hair, and if it's fucked up, they're gonna ask who cut your hair. And it takes one person. After that, it's a snowball effect. You know, people start hearing about it, and it could ruin, you know, tarnish your reputation.
Yeah, it could
Not
definitely
ruin, but
tarnish a barber's reputation. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, gosh, I'm having a brain fart.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, busy barbers. You know, we're busy for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want our service for a reason.
Yep.
Now you come into the shop and you have one barber that's full of appointments or full of walk-ins, whatever the case may be. There's 3 other barbers. So if you want a fast haircut, hey, there's 3 other barbers sitting there. If you want to get in and out, you know, if that's the type of haircut you want, then maybe you might not be with the right barber, you know. And like I said, that's a kind of a sensitive subject because there's so many different ways of looking at it. But like, at least for myself, I try to put 100 into every haircut, and I know you do as well. So it's, I don't even know how to touch on that subject.
Well, I got a question for you, and this is something I wanted to ask my last guy, but we went into another direction. My boy BY, shout out to BY.
Shout out
if you haven't seen that
to
episode,
Legendary Cuts.
Check it out. That's my guy. What's the most grimiest shit that you've had happen to you from a client? Somebody get up, or they want to, like, you know, act up in the chair, or take the, you know, what's the most craziest member? I know you have many. I don't care who you are as a barber. If you've been doing it for this long, you have some fucking stories of clients acting a fool. What is one that stands out when it comes down to, you know, you cutting hair in the barbershop?
Honestly,
something.
Yeah, no, for sure. It happens, but I think for myself, it's all about on how you address that issue, the energy you come back with, because it can escalate real quick. And yes, there's been many a times where I've seen a situation arising, but thankfully and luckily, I knew how to kind of de-escalate the situation. Now, where it has happened, and the person was irate, it was more so like, I remember 2 times in particular, and one just recently. And luckily, I de-escalated. Yeah, just recently. It was with one of my barbers. It was for a kid's cut. The mom came back in irate.
There was another barber that had a situation you had to de-escalate?
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
So the one time the lady was drunk, this was on Springwells, I remember. She brought in, the kids came in for haircuts or something, I forget. And then the mom brings the kid back, and she was just drunk and irate. I want my money back. And there was really, I forget.
Wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me, but so I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong with the haircut? You know, show me and we'll fix it. And they don't want to hear it. It don't matter. Well, in their mind, they just want their money back. That's what it is.
Free cut.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's been situations that happen, but it's all about on how you handle it, bro.
Well, if that's all you got, man, you did all right then.
Yeah, man,
you
I've
been
blessed.
Nobody like take the cape off, fuck, and all that kind of shit. Had to have something.
I mean,
no matter how good you are, how humble you are.
Yeah.
That 30 years.
There's definitely been some situations arise.
And I'm not saying that you did anything to deserve it. Just people, you never know what's going on with people.
Yeah.
I've had people come in, man, like, hey, my man, do you mind if I hold the mirror? Don't fuck, no, you're not holding the mirror.
Right.
You know, they want to hold the mirror the whole time. You know, just really picky customers.
Yeah, so definitely. I've had that for sure. Absolutely.
So if you never had anybody, you know, freak out
No, I've
because
had
of you?
people to freak out.
That's what I was asking. That was
Yeah,
the question I was
absolutely.
asking. Question. What was the most pickiest person you had?
Oh God.
And do you cut their hair still? And did you have to put him in check?
Yeah, just recently, I would say about a year ago, there's
Mhm.
one guy. And I'm not even gonna say.
Of course not.
He'll probably see this podcast.
Yeah.
But he drives like an hour to come have a haircut with me and tells me all the time, "You're the best. I love the way you cut my hair."
Yep.
Okay, so then if I'm the best, you love the way I cut your hair, why are you in my mirror for an hour, even after I cut your hair?
Yep.
And he'll brush his hair this way, that way, look up, look down. Of course, it's not going to be 1,000% straight when you're looking 5-10 different ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Especially if you
so
blend it
many
a certain
things
way.
to it.
If
Yeah.
it's combed this way, and then he gets up and combs it that way, he's like, "Hey man, can you blend that?" It's
Yeah.
like, bro, I blended it the way that you're combing it.
So I literally, this last time about a year ago, I asked him, I said, if you'd like to continue coming here, I would love that, but you're going to have to see one of my barbers.
Yeah.
I can't see you no more.
What'd he say?
Yeah. He kind of looked at me crazy, but he
Send
came
him-
back a few times
Yeah,
still.
people like that, man. It's like
There's some people you just can't appease them.
I've had to kick people out. You know what I mean? Not many. Like I'm pretty much on your level when it comes to that, man. I've been blessed to where
Good,
you know
yeah.
I've de-escalated a lot of situations and never had nothing major.
Mhm.
Really, and I've been here for going on 20 years. But being
And counting.
picky, yeah, and counting. But picky clients, man, like people that want to look in the mirror the whole time, I can't take it. I'm like, listen, man, let me do my thing. And at the end of the haircut, if you see something, then you let me know. But you're not holding the mirror, you know. And there was one time, this guy was the worst. I thought that this was a setup or something, like
Mhm.
maybe a hidden camera or something. But he kept on like wanting to hold the mirror, and then like you have people like you line them up and you get to the middle, and then he stops you. Hey, hold up real quick. Hey, my man, can you line this?
I
But
didn't
you
even
were
get
on
to
your
that
way
side
getting
yet.
there?
Right.
You've had that. So this guy, this was like probably over 10 years ago. He kept on doing. I said, listen, man, I haven't got to that part yet, man. Are you doing
Gotta
this
let me
on
do my
purpose?
job. Yeah.
He started talking shit. So I took the cape off of him, man, and he had a flyer of mine. I remember because he found a flyer. That's how he came in. This is before I did appointments.
Mhm.
And he goes and like drops it on the floor like this and starts walking out. And I remember I was a kid, man. I grabbed the piece of paper up. I crumbled it up. He was walking out. Hit him in the back of the head with it. Get the fuck out of here, man. Don't come
let
around
the
here
door
ever
hit
again.
you in the ass.
Yeah. But besides that, man, I've been blessed, man. I haven't had
Good,
too
bro.
much, man. You know, I guess I'm a people pleaser. You know, and I try,
Yeah.
even if I'm
As a
wrong,
barber,
man, I
I
try
think-
my hardest to make it right.
Yeah.
And that's why,
What it
knock
is,
on
too.
wood, knock on wood, I've never had a bad review on me, ever. I have people that worked here in the past that created a few,
Mhm.
but with
Me
me,
too.
and my service, I've never had one. Thank God, on me.
Thank
what
God,
about
yeah.
you?
No, same. I've had
People in barbers though that you've had.
yeah, like some two of my barbers
Mhm.
had brought my score down from 5 stars to 4.9.
Mm.
So yeah, we had a couple, but
Cool.
you know, like you said though, I like what you said.
Mhm.
If you can't make everybody happy,
Mhm.
but if someone's not happy, you try to make it right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's where a good barber stands out and becomes a
Yep.
great barber.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about perseverance.
And like you said, you had other barbers in the past that took your score down now. I'm not gonna lie, man. Nowadays, the type of barbers, man, that society has created
Mm-hmm.
it's insane, man. Like this is the biggest misconception of barbering right now. You know, me and you went to barber college.
Right.
We earned our license.
That's right.
Everybody wants to wake up one day and they see, oh, that
Watch a
barber looks
couple
like he's
videos.
balling on Instagram. They pick up a pair of clippers, and the next thing you know, they're in a barber shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they want to start off at the top.
Yeah.
And the biggest misconception is I hate this. I do it because I want to be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you want to be your own boss, you have to wake up on time.
That's right.
You have to freaking do this. Everybody has
no-
to answer to somebody. So they come into the barbershop, in your barbershop with your name on it, and, they're late. They no-call, no-show a client. They're just everything bad, right? But they're saying they're their own boss.
Right.
You guys are not your own boss,
No.
man. You guys still have to listen because I'm not. I have to listen to somebody.
That's
You
right.
have to listen. Somebody has. Everybody has to listen to somebody.
We have to answer to our clients
Yes.
and to the community
Yep.
and other businesses.
Exactly.
And they come in like you said, man. You know, we put in our work and went to barber school. We've learned the etiquette of barbering.
Mm-hmm.
We've started from the bottom and
Now we're here.
learned the social skills. Yeah, thank God. So, but yeah, a lot of barbers, especially these days, they just don't care.
Bro, it's
You know,
bad.
and you try to lead by example and show them, hey, I'm here every morning.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm doing what it takes to keep these doors open, keep
Mhm.
these clients coming in, keep the clients happy. It's like they'll sit there on their phone. You know, you're the owner, the boss, the one who works the hardest, the one who answers the phones, the one who goes and buys all the supplies and materials. It's like they can't even buy their own materials or sweep their own hair. It's like
Mhm.
you're sitting there playing on Instagram. Get up, do something. You see some towels laying around, get up and do it. I'm like,
Yep.
I had to learn that, bro. Like
Mhm.
when I was in barber school, like I said, when I worked at that salon, that's what I did, bro, as an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I made coffee, I washed hair, I swept, I took out the garbage, I cut hair.
Yeah. I think society has created, you know, a lot of people nowadays that, you know, trying to how do you put this? They want the rewards, but they don't want to put in the work.
Correct, absolutely.
And politics have, you know, did a lot
Mhm.
to tarnish people's mindset. And you know, I feel like I was like in the direction of giving up on these barbers. Like I just don't want to deal with people no more because it's just I don't know if it's worth it, you know, booth rent or you're doing percentage.
Yeah,
You know, because
percentage.
I know you're
I have a
lot
good
like
team,
me.
thank God. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have some good
That's
barbers,
a
really
beautiful
good.
thing,
Yeah,
man. And there's some great ones out there.
yeah, yeah.
But there's more bad ones, I think, and more unlicensed and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And make you to the point where you're like, I'd rather just do this by myself because we're perfectionists. We want everything to be right.
Correct.
Okay. We want everything around us to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're like me, you know, you're doing your thing and you're giving your client 100%, you know, of your attention.
Yeah.
And you're doing everything with them. But then you see these guys over here doing shit that you don't like. So then you got to look over here and it throws you off.
Kind of
man.
step in or intervene and
Yeah. Tell me, so what's your new direction you're going into, man? Like, you said not too long ago that you want to go into more of the business aspect.
Yeah, honestly, 30 years behind the chair, brother, you get tired, man. Like you said, you know, as a barber, we get a little wear and tear on our legs and our backs and our bodies. So
You get frustrated sometimes.
not so much frustrated, I think, because I really enjoy my work. But yeah, you get tired. Like at least I do. I get tired. By the
Yeah.
end of the day or the end of the week, boy, I feel it. So yeah, I'd maybe like to fall back a little bit, maybe work only a couple days.
Wouldn't it be nice?
In the near future, not right now. I'm still young, strong. So,
Yeah, like
but maybe in the near future.
I told someone the other day, I said, listen, this is the truth. I know we kind of went from that conversation.
Back to barbering.
And I was like, back to barbering. But
Let's get
either
it.
way, that's what we talk about. He said, if you hit the lottery,
Mhm.
would you still cut hair? I said, listen, man, I'm going to cut hair to the day I die because I love to do it.
Yeah.
But if I win for $100 million, I said, I'll cut your hair, but I'm going to be like, hey, meet me at the boat dock over here. I'm going to pick you up in a yacht.
That's
and I'm going
right.
to cut your hair on the yacht. And I'm going to get a badass barber chair, the one I seen at the Connecticut Barber Expo. It's like $100,000. I'll be cutting your hair and that way, but I'm not going to be doing 15 haircuts a day.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
You'll never stop cutting for as long as you live, right?
No.
We have obligation. We have a job with people.
That's right.
And like I said, I know I'll do it.
Making the world a beautiful place, one person at a time.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, for sure. So are you planning on like opening up another shop?
Like I said, I would like
kind of kick it for a little while and not cut as much.
Yeah, I mean, in the near future, you know, hopefully, you never know, a couple years, 1 year, 5 years, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely something I would like to kind of like maybe taper back, maybe only work 3 days a week or
Man, I want
or maybe 5-6 hours a day as opposed to 8 or 9. So
yeah. What's the most haircuts you did in one day? I know you did way more than I've ever did in one day.
So you asked me this earlier. How many haircuts did I used to do in a day?
Yeah.
My average day?
Yeah.
25 to 30 haircuts.
When? Like recently, every day?
in Southwest
Oh, back then?
because the
25, 30?
haircuts were different. They were a lot more simple.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I was younger, but the most haircuts I did in one day when I moved back from Vegas, I was working at Arcade Barbers at my friend Tiffany's place.
Mm-hmm.
I was living and working in downtown Ann Arbor, and me and my boy Brooke, shout out to Brooke. He lives in Lansing, but I think he's going back to Ann Arbor.
Mhm.
He owns a shop as well, but he worked with me there as well, and he challenged me to a cutoff. Who can cut the most heads in one day? And that day I did 36 haircuts, and you're talking. This was right before I opened Perfect Image in Lincoln Park,
Mhm.
so probably about 12 years ago.
Okay.
36 haircuts in one day, 8-hour shift.
Damn.
Yeah. And you're talking about
8 hours?
impeccable cuts.
See, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
I had the
one
impression
work
that you were
day.
cutting from 7 to 2 in the morning.
No, just
This is
8
hours.
hours. 8-hour work shift.
And all of the
8
haircuts
hour.
come out fire still?
Fire, baby.
Dog, you ain't
You
no
already
joke,
know.
man. Yeah, I think I probably did like 30.
36.
I think I did like 28 or 30 on a Christmas one time. We stayed up, but I didn't do it in 8 hours. I did it. We were open till fucking 3 or 4 in the morning. We were up in the barbershop.
I've done those nights as well. Days and
do
nights.
you cut hair on the weekend still, Sunday and Monday?
Sunday, I'm off, but Saturday, yeah. Saturday I try to leave a little earlier.
When are your days off?
Sunday, and then I'll take like half days maybe, or I'll take Tuesday off. But Monday I started going back in Monday recently.
Okay.
Yeah, Mondays are pretty busy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start.
But I'm
coming
gonna
on
get
Mondays.
back
Yeah, well, here goes the
to
thing,
that, having
man.
2 days off in a row.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years, but my kids travel baseball, travel softball, and
Keep busy,
I have
huh?
I have to take off a lot of days, on Saturdays and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably come back on Mondays. And don't quote me on that.
Monday's
guys,
a good day to work though. It's
but
busy.
I'm working that going in the direction to possibly open back up Mondays
Good.
because I got to make up for it. Because like I said, this summer I'm gonna be gone a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I try not to miss any of my kids' games. you
Yeah,
know,
God bless, bro. That's
because
what's up.
you could always make more money, but you can't get back time.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, man. But we've been here, man. This is one of the greatest
Kicking it, baby.
conversations, man.
Keeping it real.
And I'm so happy that you come on, Jimmy. Like,
Man,
it
I
means a lot to
appreciate
me.
you for sure.
You're a huge
Shout out to
mentor.
El Nino.
Yeah, for sure. That's my boy. I was talking to him earlier. You're a huge inspiration to me.
Thank you, my brother. I
A
appreciate
huge
that.
inspiration to a lot of barbers that don't even know it. They don't even know you. They don't even know that you're the one that
Thank you, my
started
brother.
this shit,
Thank
man.
you.
If it wasn't for you, maybe, we would still be getting freaking flat tops over there, man, on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
Man, my
Come
man, I
around.
appreciate you.
We're
Thank you,
definitely
Jay.
going to do it
Thank
again.
you for having
This
me.
isn't our last conversation here. I'd like
For
to
sure.
definitely bring you back.
Thank
And,
you to the guys as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
Podcast.
And I guess we're going to be out.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Salute.
Respect.
Yep.
That was a good one.